Hey guys, Shauna Sturgeon here to talk about spiritual formation. But first, I have to tell you that I love running. So much so that a group of friends of mine and I decided a few years ago to train for our first marathon together. And little did we know that God was going to teach us a lot about our walk with Him, more so than He was going to teach us about running. So I believe that marathon training has some parallels with spiritual formation, and I'd like to share those with you. The first is that we are equipped through discipline. We can't finish a marathon without training for one and being consistent in that training. And we don't become like Jesus by accident. Derek Freeland writes in his blog for Missio Alliance that the Christian faith is the way of Jesus lived out by those who faithfully follow Him. We do not just believe certain things about Jesus, but we practice certain things in the way of Jesus. We need spiritual disciplines like prayer, Bible study, fasting, worship, confession in order to become like Jesus. We also need to be excited by love. You're not going to finish a marathon if you don't love running. And we're not going to be able to accomplish this faith and do what God's called us to do without being motivated by Christ's love for us. Paul David Tripp says in his book, New Morning Mercies, that we don't obey to get God's favor. We obey because His favor has fallen on us and transformed our hearts, giving us the willingness and power to obey. God's love compels us to obey Him. The next thing is that we need to be encouraged by community. I would never have completed a marathon without my friends encouraging me when it got hard. And we need one another, other fellow believers, to encourage us in our walk with God. Dallas Willard said this well in the article we read for class, that Christians who are together in the natural stream of life just naturally come together with one another because of the radically different life that they live, and that eternal kind of life begins to show itself and flow through them to the world. So we need one another to be encouraged to live this life. And the last thing we need is to be empowered by God. There's one thing that I'm never going to be, and that's an elite runner. It doesn't matter how much I train or how much I love running, unless God does a miracle and changes my body into an elite runner's body. I'm never going to be an elite runner. And here's the thing, we're never going to be like Jesus without His Spirit empowering us to become like Him. A.W. Tozer said in his book, The Pursuit of God, that the spiritual experience never happens by instruction. We may as well try to instruct leprosy out of our system. It must be a work of God before we are free. Ian Morgan Crone writes in his book about the Enneagram and transforming our personality that this is only helpful information if we don't waste our time trying to accomplish any of it apart from the transformative power of God's grace. So for me, spiritual formation is God's people being made to be like Jesus through the power of the Holy Spirit as we seek to love Jesus and others by obeying His commands. Thanks, guys.